Welcome to the screencast for creating a library in Transana. In Transana, you put each of your source text files into what Transana calls a document, and you put each of your source media files into what Transana calls an episode. You group all your related documents and episodes into what Transana calls a library. This organizational structure makes it easier to find the source data that you're looking for as the amount of data that you put into Transana grows. It sometimes feels like an extra step for people just starting out with their data, but it is essential for people who have hundreds or even thousands of source data files to analyze. Therefore, the first thing you want to do to bring your first data file into Transana is to create a library so you have a place to put your first document or episode. To do this, we'll start in the Data window on the Database tab. To create a library, move your cursor to the Libraries node in the database tree and right-click that item to get its pop-up menu. If you're using OS X and are having trouble right-clicking the Libraries item, hold down the Control key as you click the Libraries item to get the pop-up menu. Choose Add Library. Next, type in the name that you want to give your library. For example, if you're collecting data from several schools, you might name your library after the school where you collected the data. You might want to name your library after the subject matter of the lesson being recorded, calling it math or history, for example. Or you could name your library after the teacher being recorded. You can organize your data in any way that makes sense to you. And remember, if you decide later that you'd rather have your data organized a different way, you can always rearrange the contents of your libraries using drag and drop or cut and paste in the Data window. Let's name our first library Learning Transana. The library ID is the only information that is required on this form, so let's click the OK button to create our library. As you can see, it shows up in the database tree.